one's true self. It's an opportunity to be together without our personal stories. To be together as a listening space, a loving presence. It's always there. This loving presence is always there. And somehow we overlook it. It is overlooked when we are in personal concerns, when we are trying to advance ourselves, to defend ourselves, to justify ourselves, to impress others too, or when we are with our own personal worries and fears and emotions about me, this person. What's going to happen to me tomorrow? Me in time and space. So here is an opportunity to explore and to come to a deeper understanding, like a fruit on the tree ripens when the sun shines onto the tree and when the earth nourishes the tree. Naturally, the fruit ripens. And the ripening in the exploration of the self requires a certain nutrition. And the nutrition arises from your love for truth. It is your love for truth that brings you here to this meeting. It is your love for truth that brings you to your own contemplation throughout your day, throughout your life. It is your love for truth that brings you to read the words of the sages. And it's a very precious love. Love for truth is very precious. It's very important to honor it, to respect it, to care for it, and to nourish it. To make time in your life for the contemplation. It is through your nurturing your love for truth that love grows and that the understanding deepens and ripens. The non-dual teaching is very simple. There is one reality. It's the reality of consciousness, the reality of the self, the reality of awareness. I use the terms awareness and consciousness synonymously. There is one reality. And that reality is the I am. I am this reality, the reality of consciousness. And this reality, which is the reality of consciousness, the reality of I am, is not contained, is not limited to a body-mind. Is a universal reality. So in a non-dual teaching, there is an understanding of what I just said, and as this understanding is being lived and contemplated, the me impressions, the old habitual impressions of personhood, dissolve in that understanding. To the point where they no longer arise. So there is a transformation at the mind level. But there is also a deeper transformation, which cannot be placed into words, but it is the extinction of ignorance, meaning the impressions of personhood, and the revelation of the eternity and infinity of consciousness. We are all here because at some point or the other we understand, we have understood these words experientially. We've experienced the reality of consciousness. The direct revelation of consciousness has been revealed to us one way or the other. And this revelation cannot be forgotten. Even when the me impression comes back, there is a nagging quality in the mind that wants to return to that revelation, the revelation of truth. But return to it in such a way that it no longer leaves it. So the best way for us to conduct this meeting is to interact around questions, whatever questions you may have around about non-duality or about your contemplation or anything that is happening in your life. We can explore that. Hello, Ananda. Ananda writes, certain issues are tending, seem frustrating. Health insurance issues, taxes, etc. These are obviously personal concerns. I love the insight that life is like a dream, not real, yet in my dreams, they are often the most troubling times. Well, Ananda, when you are hungry, meaning when the body is hungry and you are experiencing the hunger of the body, you go to the shop, you purchase certain foods, healthy ones, hopefully, and you prepare the meal and eat it. Similarly, with your health, when the body is expressing tiredness or a certain ache somewhere in the body, it brings your attention to explore how you could, what's the problem, what is causing the pain, and how you can attend to it. Same thing with attending to your car. You need to keep track of, what is the oil level in the engine, and how old is the oil, what is the gas tank filled, air pressure in the tires, etc. So you tend to these things, and in return you have a car that runs for as long as it does. Similarly with your finances, you have certain expenses. You manage your expenses. You look at your income and you make the wisest decision to where you live, how you manage your, how you control your expenses, and how you deal with your income without getting too much disturbance, without having to work like a workaholic or living an extravagant life that leads you to, requires you to make a vast amount of money just to maintain your lifestyle. So all what I've described to you, the examples that I've given are strictly mechanical. They have like a mechanical quality to them. If you have a plant, you need to water it. If you want it to, you need to put it in a certain place where it gets sunlight. If you would like it to grow and bear fruit, so these are all mechanical issues. Now where it gets off kilter is when there is a personal sense of danger. Oh my God, what's happening to me? You see, not what's happening to the body. What's happening to the body? Well, the body's, there is a backache. Why? Well, I work in an office for so many hours, sitting down. I don't exercise enough. I can't leave my job overnight, so I'm looking and I'm open to the possibility of having a job where maybe I can move some more, and have more mobility, for the body can sort of, come and go, get up, stand, lift, whatever. But until then, there is an ache and the body has a certain expression. But is that happening to me? You see, when I'm identified as the body, then the impression is that something is happening to me, and then there is an impression of personal threat. Mm-hmm. And that's where we are troubled about, oh my God, what's going to happen to me tomorrow? Will I survive tomorrow? How long am I going to live? Will I have enough money to pay for this or that? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But the concern comes from an identification. Now there is a there is a concern that is free of identification, where you plan to, for example, buy a certain health insurance, for example, that requires you to pay so many dollars every month. I wouldn't call that a concern. It's more like a certain intelligence about managing the situation with the health of the body, as best you can. And one can do that without being identified with the body. You can take care of your car. You can make sure that the tire pressure in the car, the tires are well pressured, that the oil is a fresh replacement with the oil filter and all of that in the vehicle. You can attend to these items, these issues in the car, without being identified with the car. You could keep your living space clean and orderly and pleasant without being identified with your surroundings. You enjoy having a vehicle that runs, that's reliable. There is no worry that, oh my goodness, I might run out of gas before I make it to my destination. This is not a happy concern to be worried about running out of gas. So out of intelligence, it's there. The intelligence is there. You see? And catering to these issues is, the intelligence caters to these issues. But the identification brings the unhappiness. Now, what may help you with the identification is to notice that your body arises to you. You are not the body. The body appears to you as bodily sensations. The body arises to you as perceptions. You perceive your hands, you perceive your legs, you perceive in the mirror, you perceive the image of Ananda. But the you that perceives the body is not the body. There is an awareness which right now perceives this perception, but it's not limited to this perception. It's beyond, it's larger than what it perceives. What is perceived is limited, but what perceives is not. So you can go to that in your experiences, in your concerns. You can go that and notice that you're perceiving an event, but you're perceiving it from a place of freedom. It's really important that you do not give up your inherent freedom to some object, some form that is bound to decay. All forms decay, meaning they arise in time and space. Thoughts have a beginning and an end. Thought A is followed by thought B. Bodily sensations have a beginning of an end. And any perception, any object that you perceive has a beginning and an end. Even an oak tree, after 1,000 years, even an old oak tree, at some point, it is no longer. It collapses and so on. You see? But awareness does not, you see. Awareness is not made out of matter. It's not made out of thought. It's not made out of anything. It's not made out of. It's not made out, period. Awareness is. So it's what we refer to as being or beingness, the I amness. So I amness is one of the aspects of consciousness, the presence, I am. So I amness is not I am in this room, or I am in this country, or I am in this body. No, it's pure I amness, pure I am. So pure I am has no borders to it, has no boundaries to it, has no form. It's just pure, infinite, borderless presence. Yeah, I am. That's the primary revelation in our contemplation of consciousness is I am. And then, of course, there is awareness. I am aware. Yeah? That's awareness. I am aware, meaning that I know that I am. I know that I am is awareness. There's an awareness of I amness, awareness of being. You see? Awareness of being. So there's I am aware that I am. I know I am. Yeah? So there's an awareness of awareness of being. So awareness is self-aware because it is being. Awareness and being are one. It's being. It's I that is aware, right? I is being. I means I am is beingness, and so and awareness is I that is aware. They're one. So beingness is awareness. Is aware is an aware beingness. Yes, aware presence. Aware presence. So it's an aware presence, and this aware presence has no phenomenal qualities. A tree has phenomenal qualities, or this screen has phenomenal qualities, or a thought has phenomenal qualities. But being awareness, meaning aware presence, has no phenomenal qualities. It is non-phenomenal. It's referred to as noumenal. We are talking about what is real, because the I am, beingness and awareness is the reality of this experience. How do we know that it is real? Because whenever we check, it's there. Whenever you check, am I? In other words, is there presence right now? You say, yes, I am. Or if you check, am I aware, or am I aware? Yes, I am aware. Am I aware of being aware? Yes. Whenever you check, it's there. You see? Whenever you check, it's there. But let's say that you forget your name. You forget that you are Ananda or whatever, or you. Yeah. So then you're not sure if you're Ananda. You don't know that you're Ananda. See? Or for example, when you are drunk, when you're totally drunk, you don't know that you're Ananda. Maybe you are, I don't know, a bird. You see. So Ananda comes and goes, but the I am doesn't come and go. So next time that you are heavily drunk, test the I am. You will find that the I am is there.
Right.
But Ananda might not be there. Do it at home. Don't go.
Well, when I really tune into the I am, then Ananda will be there too. Satchit Ananda.
Repeat that. I was.
If I tune into I am, then I will also be tuning into awareness and true Ananda.
Yes.
Happiness.
Because, yes. That's right. Because the deep understanding that I am is the reality of all phenomenal events, and that this I am is an aware I am, and is not a personal I am. The person appears, the impression of personhood appears in I am, like an oak tree appears in your perception. It's really crucial to contemplate that awareness, consciousness is borderless. Meaning it does not belong to a person, it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to to Megdi, to Ananda, to Mary, to whoever. It belongs to itself, if you want to use that term, of belonging. It is not contained in any container. So the same awareness that hears these words is the same awareness that speaks these words.
Yes.
I won't worry about Ananda. Bliss will come of itself in the deepening of your understanding that you are not an event in time and space, and that you are this aware presence. Peace reveals itself, and the bliss of Ananda reveals itself, and much more.
I just wanted to address the issue that although the analogy of the dream, and the dream is not real when you see it from a waking state.
The dream is real, but the dream characters in the dream are not real. For example, if the fact that you're dreaming is real, but the pink flying elephant in your dream is not real. Because when you wake up in the morning, it is not there. But what matters to understand about the dream is that all dream impressions get their impression of reality, or even, let's say, get their reality from the dreamer. Meaning all phenomenal perceptions have their reality in consciousness. You can wake up in the morning, you may have dreamt of New York City. When you wake up in the morning, New York City of your dream is not there, but New York City is there in New York. New York City is there in New York. But what is the reality of New York City of your dream is you as the dreamer, you as consciousness. And what is the reality of New York in New York is that same reality. The reality of the world, what we refer to as the external world, is your knowingness, is awareness, is consciousness. Because what is New York City, the actual New York City, the physical New York City, if you want to use that term, without consciousness, without awareness?
Yes, in fact, when you said there really is a New York City, I was thinking, on what level are you speaking? Because
well, when you wake up from your night dream, the pink flying elephant is not there. But let's say that you dreamt that the pink flying elephant was walking on Madison Avenue in New York. So it's true that the pink flying elephant is nowhere to be found outside of your dream. But Madison Avenue in New York City, you can find it outside of your dream, out of your night dream, by driving to, or by Googling it. But irrespective of whether it is a pink flying elephant that arose in your dream, or whether it was Madison Avenue that arose in your dream, the contemplation is the contemplation of what is the reality of these events. We use the night dream only to point to the reality of consciousness, that all dream events belong to a higher reality. Everything that you dream in your night dream belongs to a higher reality, which is the reality of consciousness. In the waking state right now, all what you are experiencing right now, like this screen right now, that you're experiencing, this perception, or these words that you are hearing right now, the experience of this hearing right now, belong to a higher reality.
Yes.
Which is the reality of consciousness. And this reality, this higher reality, which is the reality of consciousness, is what we refer to as I.
It's peculiar about the, sometimes I wonder whether the good fortune of my life, that things go smoothly, have gone smoothly, is maybe getting some of the credit for for what I take to be a transcendental freedom, because then some kind of thing comes up, and even logic doesn't help us. Like I say, I got a very good deal on this. This thing fell through for no apparent reason. It's like a flash of almost like a contract is written, and suddenly your name is on it, and you didn't even expect it. How to put it?
Yes, you know,
So the things that catch, the catching things.
the more you're contemplating the reality of your experience, meaning the more you're recognizing the reality of consciousness as being what you are,
Mm-hmm.
the more synchronicity you will find in your life events, and the more sweetness and the more miracles you will find in your life events, and vice versa. The more you identify as a man, as this person, as a woman, as a mother, father, a person in time and space, the more bitter your waking dream will be.
And I guess an issue here for me is that when I see a situation and make the logical deduction, like, it's not really worth my following this up to save, to straighten it out. For example, there's very mundane things I'm saying, but to say, get a new health insurance company because the other one has gotten me so mixed up in their computer they can't straighten it out, for example. Mm-hmm. There's a loss, say, in that, a loss of some investment. But, so I'm thinking what seems a challenge for me is the ease to say, okay, I do that. That's what makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then something that I picked up as a child, and I got it from my father and everything else, is, oh, gee, that's troubling because that didn't work out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you have a loss that is not, blah, blah, not appropriate. And I find that troubling, you see. Yeah. Even though logically I could let it go, move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever we've inherited from our parents or from our conditioning can change as we're contemplating. We find new energy, and we found ourselves more resourceful and less caught up, less entangled, freer. Mm-hmm. There are various tendencies that people have according to their conditions that are bringing their personality. It's not a big deal, really. It's not a big deal. You tackle the core issue. If you tackle the core issue, mm-hmm. Yes, that takes most of your energy, really, is to tackle the core issue, which is the issue of being identified as a person. Mm-hmm. That's the core contemplation. Everything else will follow, but it doesn't have to be a perfect world. It's not like it doesn't have to be
Yes.
Overall, it will move to a sweeter and sweeter, easier and easier. It goes in that direction, and there are some people who are more perfectionist than some others. Mm-hmm. So they get wrapped up into some of the details and so on. But
yes.
It's really no no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, a certain sense of play will come about, will avail itself around all these idiosyncrasies. And they will be sort of amusing in a way. And we might find ourselves be able to take a different route, say, oh well, drop it, or it's no big deal, or say, well, no, I'm going to give it what it takes. Either way, it's like Francis said once, Francis Lucille, it's not about becoming a perfect person. It's not about that. It's just live in your contemplation, that line up your thinking with I am this aware presence. Your actions, line up your actions to conform with being this aware presence, being this universal consciousness. And in your thoughts and your behaviors, live according to being consciousness, test it out in your life.
Yes.
So align your thinking and your actions according to that principle. And
yes, move through life with grace and ease, but not as a slogan, more as a contemplation.
Right.
Why not? Why am I not?
Live it, yes, right. Experiment with it. But you will notice that whenever you are experiencing some angst and difficulty and confusion, you have you're back to referring to yourself as some event in time and space.
Yes. That's
Just
clear.
to notice that over and over is sufficient. Don't try to be a perfect person. Okay, Ananda, thank you for your questions. Okay.
Thank you for your thorough answer.
Hello, Seeker says, can contemplation be superficial, inadequate, and incomplete? And if so, can that kind of contemplation somehow lead to deeper contemplation? Well, everything that happens, all events lead to a deeper contemplation. All the rivers, the streams flow towards the ocean. They're bound to flow to the ocean. Now, some streams flow towards the ocean and they get to a lake. They get to a lake. And then they sit there in the lake. And then they evaporate and become clouds. And then the wind blows them back up in the mountain. And they become rain. And they rain and they flow back again in little streams. But they flow back again to the same lake. That's it. And they stay in this lake and this lake, and at some point in time, they become clouds, and the wind takes them to the mountains. and they become rain, and they flow again to the same lake. And it can go on for cycles and cycles. But at some point, when it will rain in the mountains, that stream will be coming down towards the lake, there might be some changes in the terrain that will divert this stream in a different direction. So what I'm trying to say is that everything that happens in your life, in your thinking, in your experiences, in the world, is meant to take you home. There are no accidents. So incorrect, incomplete, and improper contemplation is like this example of the rain that just keeps going into the stream, back to the lake, and back up the mountains, and back down to the stream and the lake. At some point in time, yes, you will arrive to some sort of change. You will hear a message that will catch your attention. You will have some sort of insight that will jolt you out of your habits. Because a contemplation that is incomplete is habitual. Because contemplation is pure presence. Or another way of putting it is complete absence. Contemplation is a listening space. It's looking. It's an investigation. And the investigation can only be proper if it's done freshly. Not repeating. It's not repeating a mantra or repeating, I am consciousness, I am consciousness, I am consciousness. It is a fresh wondering, pondering, probing that is fueled by a passion, your passion for truth. This interest to understand for yourself, to not to borrow somebody's understanding, but to really understand and to be clear about your question. It's not a habitual contemplation, it's not a habitual endeavor, it's not a practicing sitting in meditation for 2 hours a day. Although it is helpful to sit in meditation, and because there is it sort of takes the body, places the body in a situation where it is not what the body is habituated to do. It's used to watch TV, eat some ice cream, call a friend, whatever, just fill the space. When you're sitting in meditation, it's different and a different activity. But then the meditation can become a habit. So you have to be careful when you're sitting in meditation that what is it that I'm doing here? There has to be a freshness to the contemplation. So in sitting in meditation, it has to be like you've never sat before. When you are listening or contemplating that I am this aware presence, it has to be looked at like you've never heard it before. To go there, go to the experience of what these words are pointing at. What are they? What is their true meaning? Because I could be telling you these words, be sitting here and saying, yeah, well, we are consciousness, we are this aware presence. But there is an experience behind these words. It's not a mind experience. It's not an experience that occurs in time and space. It's a reality. I use the word experience, but it's beyond time and space. So your contemplation has to be done in your complete nakedness. What am I truly? What is the reality? What is the reality of this experience? What is the reality of what is being experienced as well? You get a lot of hints in these meetings. But these hints are of no use if you don't probe into them and get your teeth into them and come to taste them to your own understanding. You know you are in the right contemplation when the peace, the happiness, and the tranquility and the freedom is growing in your experience. I hope I answered your question, Seeker. Isaac, hello, Isaac. Strong feelings of being sick and tired of the mechanical life. Life is magical, Isaac. It's it's awesome. Just to look at you, to be here together, or to look over the field, or to experience the breath, to experience a perception, or just to experience presence. It's really beyond words. It's mind blowing. And it's available to us. It's available to us 24/7. This freshness, moment by moment. There's tremendous beauty, tremendous love in this moment right now, Isaac. And it's closeness. It's there. It's a wonder. It's abundant. It's your gift to open your eyes to this freshness, to this beauty. It's so beautiful when your garden is flowery, and the perfume of yours is so lovely and beautiful. Yes, every moment is fresh. There is no repetition. And every moment celebrates the freshness of consciousness, the eternity of consciousness. It's not the freshness of what we are seeing or the freshness of some object or a thought. It's the freshness and the beauty and the love and the wonder comes from consciousness, belong to consciousness. Like, an oak tree, the oak tree is, this big oak tree comes out of an acorn. An acorn. It's amazing. The entire manifestation of this huge oak tree comes from the acorn. And then the acorn comes from what? It's all consciousness. It's all magic. It's all wonder. It's all revelation. A moment by moment revelation that that is just, it's revealing what is not perceived through the senses. And what is not perceived through the senses is what I am, this aware presence, that this love, this intelligence, this beauty, this freedom. It doesn't belong to the body. It is beyond. And the body can celebrate the magnificence of consciousness when it aligns itself with consciousness. And the alignment with consciousness comes from the understanding that what I truly am is this borderless and aware presence, is this love, is this boundless, bountiful garden. There's no happiness doesn't belong in the world, body, mind. It belongs beyond. It shines onto the world as beauty. It shines onto the mind as peace and intelligence. And it shines onto the heart as love. But it shines from beyond. It's sad when we mistake happiness to belong in the world, and then we're chasing experiences, we're chasing various forms. It always leads to disappointment, invariably, Isaac. Even if temporarily it might provide some solace in the long run, it doesn't deliver the goods. So the invitation from presence, from beyond, from the absolute, is to recognize yourself as that. To recognize yourself as that presence, as that intelligence, as that consciousness, as that love, as that freedom. To recognize that, to recognize yourself. A true recognition. And to recognize that it is it's a borderless presence that does not belong to anybody's mind. Body minds are its fruit. They're downstream from it. The calling is always, always in every moment. Come home. Come to the freedom. Come to the celebration. Come to the love. Come to the beauty. Come to the freedom. The freshness of being. The creative potential of consciousness, creating moment by moment. Very lovely to see you, Isaac. Thank you for your question.
Magdi.
Hello, yes, Mauro.
Hi.
Hello.
I have a question.
Yes, Mauro.
Is like there is, in my case, there is always like a thought that has to lead to understand that I'm like that there is awareness or whatever. Let's see if I can explain this. Like if somebody says something that I don't like, there is the reaction, and then there is the thought that, well, this is consciousness manifesting through this body, mind, or whatever. So it's like there is this thought, it doesn't come spontaneously. That's what I wanted to say. So can you comment on that?
Yeah. It is all consciousness, Mauro, including not liking something or someone. Because even in this not liking, there is love, there is honesty, there is truth. What we truly don't like is being a mortal person that has to seek peace and happiness somewhere, somehow. And sometimes in not liking somebody or not liking some interaction, what we truly don't like is this separation, this isolated me. That is lacking happiness, that is lacking freedom. So rather than reminding yourself that, okay, I am consciousness, and therefore I should not be upset, or I am consciousness and being upset doesn't mean anything, it's all consciousness. That may be like it become like some sort of drug. Why don't you try noticing without attempting to change anything, without trying to make yourself less upset or act differently, or just see if you can notice that whenever there is a negative emotion, at that moment you have become a person, a woman, a me, and there is another, the other one, the me and the other. If you can simply notice that they come hand in hand, the negative emotion, the bodily contraction in your chest or your face or your belly or your shoulders, comes hand in hand with a me and him, me and her. Sometimes it can be me and me. Why am I like that? Why am I not improving? When will I finally become a better person, etc. But it's even a me and me. It's still like me and another, in a way. And simply notice that. Simply allow this noticing to do what it does, whatever it is, to do its job. Just simply notice that whenever there is unhappiness, there is a me and another. And then you can, from there you can contemplate, well, I don't really like unhappiness, so maybe I can let it go. But I'm not talking about changing, you're changing the situation. We're not trying to change the situation. This is just a contemplation that's beyond the situation. Beyond, it's an absolute contemplation. Just stay with that contemplation. Maybe I can let it go. Maybe I can let it might seem that, oh my goodness, letting go of Maru, what will remain? I can let go of myself. But try it, trust it. Trust it. Trust the teaching. When you let go of a limit of the unhappiness, the happiness that's there will shine through effortlessly. When you let go of any limitation, the limitless is there. It's there, it's eternally there, it's eternity. But don't be mechanical in your... If you notice you're becoming mechanical, switch it. Figure a way of don't continue with the any mechanical way. So give this a try, Marva, and see how it goes. There is wisdom in simply noticing the patterns, noticing and getting an understanding of the pattern. This tendency that is there to contract around the body-mind and to identify with the body-mind and worry about the body-mind and defend the body-mind, defend the image, defend the thoughts, defend the feelings, defend the sensations, rather than just be still. Because consciousness is complete stillness. It is not the oceans move, the wind moves, the trees move, the leaves move. Consciousness is eternal and infinite. There is no place where it's going or no place where it's coming from. It's not trying to improve itself. And you are this aware presence. You are consciousness. You meaning the I, you, what you refer to as I. Before you say I, Mauro, I, the body-mind, the I, the pure I. Pure I is not contained in a body-mind. The body-mind appears in I. Bodily sensations appears. To I. Without I as presence, borderless presence. What is a body-mind? There is no body-mind. What is a dream without the dreamer? So recognize yourself, and you can recognize yourself when you release the false, or you relax around this me and him, me and her. Not by repeating I am consciousness, but being courageous to let go of this me position. See the other as yourself.
Very clarifying.
Okay, Maru, very lovely to see you.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, please say hello to our friends.
What?
Say hello to our friends.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Say
yes,
hello
yes.
to Tara.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Hello, Mary. Oh, okay. Yes, Mary. Okay. Okay. Well, very, very lovely being together this way. Thank you for your presence, for your company, and for your love. And we will see each other again, very soon.
Thank you, Magdi.
Love you. Thank you all. Love you.